Keisha is in Wichita, Kansas. Hi, Keisha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can John and I help?
Well, I don't, honestly, I'm not sure that I'm asking the right question, but I'm struggling with feeling like if I approach my mother-in-law, I disrespect my husband, because my mother-in-law, talks negatively about me to family and friends when she is upset. And honestly, I'm not sure why. It started shortly after we became married. We've been married almost 6 years, have 2 great children, and it's just kind of getting worse. So I know I can't control other people, but I want to support and respect my husband in every which way because he leads a wonderful family. And
So give me an example.
but at the same time,
When she gets upset, give me an example of that.
So the most recent was she was in a disagreement with her other son, and she then called him disrespectful and isn't sure where he learned that, and said that I must be rubbing off on him as well.
So did he immediately tell his mom, "Do not disrespect my wife"?
No, that was her son, her brother-in-law.
That was my brother-in-law.
Oh, okay,
But he shared that with my husband, and yes, my husband immediately talked to her and said, "Don't ever do this again."
Oh, good.
Good for him.
But this is. It's not the first time, and I know it's not going to be the last time.
So what's her reaction
so
when her son
like,
calls?
What do we do?
When her son calls her on the carpet, your husband, and says, "Hey, Mom, you can't talk about my wife like that. Come on. What's your problem? Stop it." What did she say?
Right. There's no apologies. There's blaming of either him or I. She's never wrong with it.
Okay.
So there's really 2 choices you got.
Right.
Choice number 1 is let your husband know, "Hey, I'm feeling this burning in my soul. I want to sit down with her and just ask. I'd love to make peace with the grandparents of the grandmother of my kids."
Right.
You'd have to understand, and you make peace with the fact that peace may never come. And at the end of the day, you've got to unhitch yourself from this woman who's just choosing to bring poison into your life. And I know that sounds trite and silly, and how am I supposed to do that? At the end of the day, you're going to have to make a decision. That old lady can just say whatever she's going to say. But I'm going to love my kids. I'm a good wife. I'm a good friend. I'm a good neighbor. I got a great husband, and I'm going to go about my life. I'm not going to let her dictate my world.
Right.
I'm personally a fan of face-to-face conversations, but I've had to make peace over the years with the fact that some people, A, don't want to have them with me, or B, they have no interest in any sort of reconciliation because, like you said, they're narcissistic.
She's never wrong.
Yeah, they're never wrong. But I always want to know I went down swinging on that one.
Yeah, you gave it every shot. So it might be that you and your husband and your father-in-law and mother-in-law go to dinner one night, you all buy, and just say, you know, I'm not trying to correct you at all. I just want to tell you that we love you, we respect you, and I don't want anything but good things between us. And I won't be ever saying anything bad about you behind your back, ever.
Right.
You can count on me to take your back. I'll always take your side behind your back. And if I ever have any issue with you, either your son or I will discuss it with you. We will not discuss it with other people. And we just want you to know that we love you and respect you. And gosh, if you could do that for us, that would be the greatest gift in the world. But even if you don't, we love you, we respect you, and you're the grandparents of our kids. And it just shames the crud out of her.
It's the old Bible verse about heaping coals, right?
Yeah.
And if you can't have a in person, you can write her a letter. Just tell her, I'm glad you're the grandmother of my kids. I love you, and I want you to know I respect you. And I love that. I hope that you'll do the same for me.
Yeah.
If you ever have any challenge with me, please give me a shout.
But here's the thing. Some people make a decision to be test pilot for a broom factory. And this woman she's like a second-degree lieutenant test pilot for the broom factory. That's what she is. And so if she just decides I'm going to be a biatch the rest of my life and you're attached to her through her son, you just have that attachment and you just go, that's the crazy one over there in the corner. Look at her. Check out the pointed hat. So that's just, you just have to kind of put that in your head and kind of grin and go on because every family's got some, right?
Right. That is very true.
It's hard, but that's where you said it. You said it early in the conversation. You said it, Keisha. You said, I can't control her. So, I mean, you've intellectually got that part, but the problem, the next trip is to emotionally get that part where you go, I can't control her.
Because here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out what it is you're doing.
And you're not doing anything.
You're not doing anything.
There's something way back in her childhood that just is in her interaction with her husband or something.
Who knows?
I don't know. Somewhere along the line, hurting people hurt people.
And usually these situations are real frustrating for me because we got a husband who won't step up to his mom, and that's not the case here.
You got a man.
You got
I love your husband. I love your husband.
It's awesome.
And I do too.
Yeah.
Good.
He's because usually I get this call and I'm dealing with a wuss on a husband. He won't stand up to his little mommy.
Right.
And this guy's a stud. Yeah. And he wasn't mean to her. He just called her out.
Yeah.
But in her world, anybody in her little narcissistic world, anybody who calls her out is called mean.
Yeah.
You're just so mean.
So here's the messy part of this. You have a fantasy in your head about Christmas and Thanksgiving that has these perfect grandparents that welcome your kids and they run out of the car and they hug you and you can call her about challenges with your kid. This doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're just going to have the Halloween character show up at your Thanksgiving.
You got to let the fantasy go. And I hate that for you.
But it's most families. It's most families.
It is. But we all have the fantasy, and often.
It's like freaking Leave It to Beaver did this to this culture. We all think June Cleaver's out there somewhere. And she's, I don't know where she went. I think she died about a generation ago. But we've got the little white picket fence and the little functional family.
And
most families put the fun in dysfunction. I'm just saying.